Today I'd like to talk to you about Petroff's defence, sometimes known as the Russian game. So if we're heading towards the Scotch game, black interrupts us by playing knight to f6, and this is Petroff's defence, and it's very well respected, very well practised by grandmasters, mostly by black players who are just looking to equalise and not necessarily play for a draw, but certainly play for an equal game. And it's very hard for white to get an advantage in these sorts of positions. The main line goes knight takes e5, d6 is important, that's Janowski's move. Knight f6 takes on e4, and now d4, d5, bishop to d3 is probably slightly better for white, maybe, but it's really hard work. You can get isolated queen pawn positions out of this, which is why I mentioned the line at all. So c4, you can start to see the outlines of it. So knight to f6, h3, takes and takes, and now we've got an isolated queen pawn position, which again you should know how to play and play well. An alternative is after c4, knight to b4, and now takes on d5. Takes on d5. Now you've lost the two bishops here, but again you do have an isolated queen pawn position. And so white can play for a win in these games, but it's really hard work, and black's not badly off. And I don't think you should play knight takes d5. I think d4 is probably a better idea for white. But if you've got the Scotch 4 knights in your repertoire, just knight to c3. And now knight to c6 is natural, and now d4 gets you into the line that again you should know and know how to play well. So the only serious try to keep out of the Scotch 4 knights for black here is to play bishop to b4, when the idea is white takes on e5, and at some point bishop to e2, rook e8, and black's going to get their pawn back on e4, so just let them. Knight to d3 here, and now you get the two bishops. Takes, takes, takes. And so now white's got an easy position, but has got a definite plus in the two bishops. So this is a slightly easier game for white. Two plans here, I suppose. So I mean, the natural move that's coming up for black is going to be d5, moving this d pawn forward. So you can expect that to happen, or try and stop it to happen with knight to f4. Maybe keep that d pawn backwards and under control. So c6, c4, and now we've got a backward d pawn as well as the two bishops. And I think this position is you just put your pieces on natural squares. Now black's knights are nicely active, and it'd be nice to try and undermine those at some point. So we'll play bishop to f1. So we've got our e3 bishop has got some support, and now we can follow up with f3. a5 securing the position of that other knight, f3 driving the knight away, queen d2, and I just get the sense that white's starting to get on top of this position. This knight doesn't have any squares to go to speak of. This pawn is backward on an open file, and white's got just easier development. This bishop isn't really breathing fire yet. But with that his moment will come, I hope. And this is just a bit easier to play for white, and black probably is better off playing into your Scotch game, as we just looked at. So that's how to play white against Petroff's defence.